Welcome back with a smiling face. Links to previous episodes are given in the video description, so don't forget to like, subscribe and share the video. Chains of Destiny. Last episode 6. Chapter 59. Damon Timothy Scott. The day I was born was a whole week of celebration. It was repeatedly told by my older brother. I admire him so much since I was a child. I always watched him during a day break and sometimes mimic his moves. Alpha Devon never disappoints me until everything happened. I thought that being in Royals is lucky. I can do everything I want. I can have everything I want. But I never thought that being in this family was this difficult. Primarily, when I found out the truth. What I thought was my cousin and friend Jules Simpson was not just a cousin or a friend. I couldn't believe you hide this from me, you hide this from me and Damon. I heard my brother, Devon's tense voice as he spoke. I am secretly hiding behind a wall because when I heard my brother's troubled voice I couldn't help but be curious. This is just for your own good. See what happened when you found out the truth? And you can't do anything with it, Devon. Nothing will change no matter what you do. Jules will remain as your cousin and that's all. I will never let him be the threat from the throne, my father said. But, Jules is our sibling. How can you do this to us? Devon said frustratedly. That's when I learned the truth that Jules wasn't just our cousin. Jules is our sibling. He's the eldest because he's older than Devon. And while my thoughts were forming, I gradually understood why we were trying to keep our hearts away from Jules because Jules was the only fear and threat to the throne. But I know Jules. He also admires Devon and we both think Devon is the suitable alpha for the throne and the kingdom. I know Jules also believes in him. I didn't see any complaints from Jules even though I know he knows the truth about his character. But I know he never mentioned it to us, but I can feel his indifference to himself especially when we eat together in the dining room. Devon, how's the north gate of the kingdom? Our father asked as we silently ate our dinner. Devon had just returned from a trip from the kingdom's north gate. Father had heard that some rogues had attacked that part of the kingdom. It's fine. The rehabilitation is ongoing and the group of hunters is currently investigating the situation, said Devon. I watched Devon as he answered our father and tried to imprint it on my brain. My brother speaks with authority and respect to our father. His every word was precise and there was not even a hint of doubt. What about your mate? Can you finally feel her? Our father asked once again. We looked at Devon at the same time. Now I saw doubt in his eyes. From the time he turned 18, our father often mentioned his mate. The elders read from Devon's hand that his girl will be beautiful and kind. Besides that, the elders didn't see anything about my brother's future mate. This is probably the reason why father often orders Devon to travel so that Devon can find his mate. In our world, a mate is very important. Having a mate is both our strength and weakness, but we cannot live without it. Once we found our mate, we're unable to love someone else other than our mate. We can reject the mate bond, but it's only applicable if you still haven't put a mark on her. And marking your mate is through making love. But it's just surprising that our father asks Devon more often about his mate than Jules, who, after all, is past the required date to find his mate. I still can't feel her, Dad, Devon answered in a deep voice. After that, father became silent, but I could feel his bad mood until we finished our meal. It was a fine night at that time when Devon found me staring into the night sky inside my bedroom's balcony. It's late at night, Damon. You have to sleep now, he said as he sat beside me. I turned to him. Because between the two of us, he should be the one to sleep early because our father will surely order him to travel again. You should be the one who should go to sleep, I answered him. He chuckled and messed my hair up. I glared at him because it was becoming one of his habits. Silence enveloped us. I glanced at him and felt like I couldn't sleep without asking this question. "What do you think of your mate, Devon?" I asked curiously. I saw his lips curve into a smile. "Are you asking what kind she is, Damon?" "Well, I'm fine no matter what she is. She's my mate and I will surely love her," he said ideally. I frowned. "So, it's fine for you even though she's ugly?" I asked. He laughed at me. He ruffled my hair again. "Silly. As long as she has a face, ugly or not, it's fine for me," he said. I stared at him checking if he was lying. "I don't want an ugly mate," I said truthfully. He laughed one more time. I didn't understand what was so funny about what I was saying but I just let him go. "Silly boy," he chuckled and shook his head. "But, do you prefer a she-wolf?" I asked curiously again. He took a deep breath and turned again to the stars scattered in the dark night. "The elders told me that my mate is a human, Damon." My eyes widened at what he said. "A human? A human girl? Why didn't you tell us? Does Dad know this?" I asked, shocked by what I learned. "Humans are one of our enemies. Actually, werewolves despised them. That's why being mated to a human is not easy. We thought humans are a weakling and if you are mated to a human, they are usually getting rejected. Do you have plans to reject her?" I stared at him. The smile disappeared from his lips. "I've already seen her," I was even more surprised at that. "Then he lied to our father. Are you ashamed of her so you didn't tell the truth to our father?" I can't stop asking. "No, I'm afraid that our father will judge her and everyone will hate her. She's living a peaceful life in her own world, Damon. And if I will bring her here and make her aware of the world we have, I'm afraid she'll regret choosing me." I was silent when he said that. I didn't think a Devon I knew had anything to fear. I've known him as a brave and serious man but now, I finally realize that a mate is really a wolf's both weakness and strength. That's why when he brought Soledad Madrigal to the palace as his mate, I understood that Devon really chose her. At this point, Devon had the courage to present his Luna to the entire kingdom. And that's when everything started. Chapter 60. I felt my head aching as I slowly opened my eyes. I can feel the soreness in my body as realization dawned on me. Terror filled me when I realized that I am now tied in a chair while in front of me is unfamiliar people staring at me like they want to tear me apart into a million pieces. "Finally, you're awake," someone said. My forehead creased as I narrowed my eyes to look at the man slowly walking out of the darkness. The last time I remember I was on my combat training session with Delta Robin and then someone stormed in and knocked me off. I didn't know what happened after that. I just woke up in this situation. "Who are you?" I asked. I am puzzled and worried, but I was trained to be calm in this kind of situation and don't want those restless training to be put to waste. "I will be like my brother. I'm the Alpha King of the Rema Kingdom, Alpha Raphael," he introduced himself at the same time I saw his face clearly. My jaw dropped as I clearly saw his face. I balled my fist as I felt the anger building inside me. I will never forget what he did to my parents. Because of him, we lost our parents. Because of him, Devon was declared as an Alpha King at a young age. He defiled the name of our family and kingdom. Even though he didn't commit that heinous crime, his men still murdered my parents. And this is why a war broke out. My brother, who is now the Alpha King of the Agama Kingdom, declares war against Rema Kingdom, and as expected, all the nations and kingdoms of the wolves sided with us. So, I know we have a high chance to win this war. But now that I am locked up in here and I am in front of this monster, I have a bad feeling about this. I know he wouldn't abduct me without reason. I know for sure that there is a huge reason why he took me. What do you want from me? I asked in an emphatic voice. I may be young, but I know how the world works already, especially in our kind. I am not dumb and I am not stupid. My mind was quickly opened to reality and I will take it to my advantage to win my fights. Oh, don't look at me with those glaring eyes. I won't do anything to harm you because you are too important to me, he said in his playful tone. I don't like the way he talks about it like it's just nothing. I clenched my jaw. For sure the whole Agama kingdom is now searching for me, especially my brother. I don't care about your plans, old man. I am asking you what you want from me. I asked coldly. I saw the irritation in his eyes. I know he didn't like my answer to him. You are Devon's brother. You both have useless tongues, it annoyed me to mention it to me. Alpha Raphael came up to me and firmly grabbed my jaw. It hurts, but I didn't wince or complain. I hold back the pain surfacing my face. I don't want him to know that I can feel the pain, or else he will see me as a weakling. No one in this world will be my weakness. But forget about it, the most important thing here is that I have a hostage, a very precious hostage to hold Devon on his neck. Now, I can finally make him obey my commands, he said evilly. My anger only grew stronger for this old man. If I hadn't been tied up, I probably would have dismembered this man's body by now. I went without food for almost 4 days and 4 nights and was confined to that dark room until I heard the door open again. I thought it was Alpha Raphael, but I was mistaken. It was Alpha Devon. My brother. What are you doing here? I asked weakly. He didn't say a word and quickly untied my feet and hands. Drink this, he offered me a bottle of water. I drank it quickly, very thirsty because I didn't even drink water in the past few days. I almost didn't remember how I survived those dark days. After I drank, he slowly pulled me and carried me on his back. I felt him turn to his wolf form while I was riding his back. How did you find me? I asked in a weak voice. Alpha Raphael told me, he finally answered. I was stunned by what he said. Alpha Raphael said the place where he locked me up? So have we defeated the Rema kingdom? Are the enemies completely destroyed? Has there been justice in the death of our parents? We won. I asked for confirmation. Alpha Devon was silent. Only later did I see the darkness that had befallen the kingdom because of the war that happened. There were many scattered lifeless bodies of wolves. Some belonged to our kingdom, others belonged to the other enemy. I can almost hear the sound of their cries, sorrow and pain as I stared at the lifeless body on the ground. I don't know why this has to happen. Alpha Devon only wants justice for our parents and we want to have it peacefully. If only the Rema kingdom accepted their mistake quickly. If only the Alpha King of the Rema kingdom had quickly agreed to let us arrest their men who broke into our palace, this event would not have happened. I don't think we won, Damon, those were the last words of Alpha Devon before I lost consciousness because of tiredness. I spent more than a week recovering from what happened. I'm glad the war is over, but I feel like a lot has changed in the palace. I feel that Alpha Devon has changed. So is Jules. I feel the tension between the two whenever they are together. I tried to talk to Alpha Devon like the old times, but he always refused and said he was busy. I feel like he was avoiding me for unknown reasons. Because of that, the distance between us grew bigger. To forget the loneliness I am feeling, I busied myself with my training with Delta Robin. I was 10 years old when I finally turned myself into my wolf. My wolf is a black furry big wolf. But everything changed when Alpha Devon brought a girl into the palace. That's not new to me because Alpha Devon is really quick to take pity on children. Especially his mate Soledad Madrigal. Soledad Madrigal once brought Anna here to the palace. Anna is a housekeeper of this palace. And she also served Soledad Madrigal, the queen. In front of Jules and me, Alpha Devon introduced the girl. I watched her vibrant smile curve on her lips. She's fair and pretty, but other than that she's still a poor girl and an orphan. It's nice to meet you, Prince Damon and Prince Jules. My name is Netitia. I hope we could be good friends, she said cheerfully. I frowned when I saw the twinkle in her eye when she and Jules locked eyes. But we don't befriend poor girls and slaves like you, Jules said to Netitia without hesitation. Jules. Alpha Devon scolded Jules while I remained silent and watched the woman. I saw the slight pain in her eyes, but she quickly hid it with a big smile. It's okay, Alpha Devon. He's right. But, Prince Jules, I can assure you that, I'm a good friend. I'll promise you that. Netitia said confidently before her eyes glanced at me. I will also be a good friend to you, Prince Damon, she smiled at me. Chapter 61. Netitia often came with me, especially when Alpha Devon was busy. She's cheerful and energetic. Sometimes, I will get irritated because of her, but I don't have any choice but to have patience with her. I am not like Jules, who is always rude towards her. I don't understand why Jules disliked her so much. She's doing nothing wrong besides being annoying, but she's fine for me. Netitia tried to get close to Jules, but Jules was being difficult. I don't want to interfere. That was what Jules wanted and there was nothing I could do. Years of being with Netitia made me feel a normal life. She was my playmate and friend for those times I was lonely. Because since the war ended, Alpha Devon has been ignoring me. Or maybe I was just overthinking everything. Perhaps he was just busy. I just finished my training with Delta Robin when I passed by Netitia's room. It was slightly open so I could see her inside. She was sitting on a chair and in front of her was the canvas. One thing I've known about Netitia was that she knows how to paint. She loves nature and portraits. Maybe because I was curious about what she was painting, I quietly entered her room and watched her from behind. My brows furrowed when I noticed very familiar scenery. I stared at it and I can't be mistaken. It was the hill that our father once took us there to see the beautiful scenery of the mountains. It was where our kingdom began. How do you know that place? I asked. I saw her stop and turn to me. I saw confusion in her eyes. She quickly took down the paint and brush paint in her hand and removed the canvas from the stand as if it was about to be put away. Your training finished, she wants to divert the topic. I won't be here if I'm not, I said, seriously. She smiled at me and wiped her hand full of paint. How do you know that place, Netitia? I'm sure my brother won't take you there, I said. We are the only ones who know about that place. Our father took us there when he was alive. And we have one rule in that place. We shall only take there our mates. And I'm sure Alpha Devon already took Luna Soledad out there. What? It was just part of my imagination, Damon. Let's go? Dinner is ready. I believe that every imagination has its origin, Netitia. I said. She lowered her eyes and breathed heavily. She knows she can't hide anything from me. We've been friends since I was 5. I've known her for a long time. Fine, Jules took me there, she said, which made me stop. My brows creased at what I heard. What did she say? What? I can't believe the words I heard from her. She played with her fingers, it was her mannerism whenever she was nervous. Jules is my mate, Damon, she said softly, but it was clear to my ears. I cannot believe it. I never thought this could happen. I only know is, Jules hated Netitia since day one, and Netitia also hated Jules since she knows his attitude. I never imagined them as mates. I know it'll be hard to understand, but it's true, she added. I know it's true. I believe her. I was just ignoring it earlier, but I can finally smell Jules's scent on her. I thought you'll both forever remain enemies, I chuckled a bit. She finally smiled at me. You know, I also couldn't believe it. But, I just woke up one day and I realized, I love him, she said emotionally. I stepped closer to her and hugged her. I'm happy for Netitia. I thought the man she liked before was Alpha Devon, but right now I can feel her feelings for Jules overwhelming. I'm happy for you, I whispered to her. She hugged me back. Thank you, she whispered back. I thought everything will finally be fine with Jules. I thought that once he found his mate, his relationship with Alpha Devon would be fine, but I was wrong. What do you mean you'll leave, Jules? I heard Alpha Devon's thunderous voice inside the conference room. I just finished my travel for a week and I happened to pass by this room and I heard an angry voice from Alpha Devon. I peeked inside and saw Jules. I frowned at the growing tension between the two of them. I will leave because I finally realize how forsaken this kingdom is. I was surprised by Jules' answer to Alpha Devon. Is there something wrong? Why are they fighting? And why is Jules leaving the palace? You're talking nonsense. Are you still acting blind, Alpha Devon? I can finally see how cowardly you are. Jules angrily said. I was surprised when Alpha Devon was about to punch Jules, but he stopped when I saw that he was immediately confused about what to do. I never saw Alpha Devon this angry. You don't know what you're talking about, Jules, Alpha Devon said coldly. Jules chuckled without humor. I know what I'm talking about, Alpha Devon. And I know how you turned blind when our father died, Jules said. I was stunned by what Jules said. Why was the death of our father included in their conversation? Please, Jules, do you know that the Rema Kingdom may be laughing at us? I'm sure they are making fun of us right now that the Alpha of Agama Kingdom chose to protect his blood than justice. Jules said angrily. I don't understand anything, but I feel it has something to do with the tragedy that happened before. Shut up, you know I'm right. Because you're a coward. You chose to save Damon over achieving the justice that should be for our kingdom and father. How could you betray the kingdom and our father? You don't deserve the throne. You don't deserve to be an Alpha King. I was stunned by what Jules said. What is he talking about? I felt the coldness spread through my body as the realization hit me. Is this why the war ended? Alpha Devon chose me then to win against the Rema Kingdom? Chapter 62. I couldn't accept everything I heard. I never thought Alpha Devon would choose my situation over the justice we wanted to achieve for our parents. But how can I face him when I know why he chose me? Alpha Devon had always had a soft heart, which is why he was loved by all the people in our kingdom. One of them is his love for his own blood, and that is his family. He knows from the start that once you sit on that throne, your main role is to protect the kingdom and not your family. But Alpha Devon chose the opposite, and I can't help but blame myself too. If I hadn't been weak and hadn't been taken lightly by the enemies, all of this wouldn't have happened. Alpha Devon would never have had a reason to abandon his role. That day, Jules left the palace. I heard Netitia crying from her room, but I can't comfort her right now because I am also confused and flabbergasted by all the things I found out. That same day, the elders and counselors announced that the hunting season would begin and, obviously, I'll be the leader of our pack while Alpha Devon will lead the other pack. I wanted to talk to him about so many things, but I couldn't find an opportunity. He's always with the counselors or Luna Soledad. I finally understand why, since the war ended against Rema Kingdom, Alpha Devon changed. He was ignoring and avoiding me. I was confused before, but now I totally understand it all. Where's Alpha Devon? I asked Delta Robin when I saw him drinking water in our cabin. He's one of Alpha Devon's groups, so I know there's a chance that he knows where my brother is. The last time I saw him, he was with Stone, Delta Robin said with a shrug. Stone? Stone is one of our loyal subjects, but we're not close, and I also haven't seen him with Alpha Devon before. It's rare to know that they are together. Thank you, Delta, I said to Delta Robin before I finally said goodbye to him and left. I looked for Stone and was stunned when I found him under a tree. He's not alone. He's with Anna. I approached them both and saw the shock in Anna's eyes when she saw me approaching. He stood up quickly to bow her head in respect. Stone did the same in front of me. Stone, did you see Alpha Devon? I asked him. I noticed Stone staring at me for a long time, and at the same time, he was looking behind me. I frowned at what he did. He's odd. Most of the people I meet can't look me straight in the eyes. But Stone can look at me straight in the eyes. Prince Damon. I stopped looking at Stone when Delta Robin came to me, breathing fast and sweating profusely. My brows shot up. What happened? I asked in surprise. I directly faced Delta Robin and slightly supported him because I saw his paleness and I could also feel his extreme trembling and weakness. What's wrong? I asked again when he didn't answer my question. Alpha Devon, he said hurriedly. My eyebrows met at what he said. Alpha Devon is what? What are you trying to say, Delta? I asked worriedly. I've never seen Delta Robin this shocked. I feel like something bad happened. I don't know why, but I don't feel good about this. Alpha Devon is dead, he said as if cold water was poured on me. I cannot move. My mind was blank. I can't think of anything but Delta Robin's words. I felt like it was repeatedly echoing inside my mind. I let go of Delta Robin. Why you lying? I said to Delta Robin. I want to make sure that he's making fun of me. I want to know the truth and he'll be punished so badly if he's just pranking me right now. I am sorry, Prince Damon, he cried in front of me. I swallowed hard when I saw that our other companions were also making trouble. They all transformed into their wolf form and howled in chorus. I tightly closed my eyes and turned myself into my wolf form and quickly ran toward the place where I could smell Alpha Devon's blood. But, it wasn't just his blood that I smelled. I can also smell Netitia's blood. I froze when I saw the cliff where I could smell their blood. I balled my fist when I saw our men pulling up Alpha Devon and Netitia's bodies from the cliff. I was like a withered vegetable when I saw the bodies of Alpha Devon and Netitia behind one of our staff in wolf form. At first, I couldn't believe it. I even thought that it was all just a dream. That it was all just a nightmare. But I was wrong. Because it felt so real. It's not just a nightmare. The pain and sorrow are crawling up my skin. The stinging pain in my chest hit me so hard that I almost bled. I have so many things I want to ask Alpha Devon. There are so many things I want to say to him. I still want to punch him in the face for choosing a stupid decision before. I wanted to curse so badly, but the only words I uttered were, "Prepare for the funeral, and announce this to our people, from now on, we'll only wear black clothes for the whole month," I said, turning to go to the palace because I couldn't watch Alpha Devon and Netitia's lifeless bodies anymore. I didn't believe it when everyone said that it was all just an accident. I know it wasn't. I know Alpha Devon, and he won't die just because of a cliff. I know something happened and I wanted to find out what it was. I was crowned as the next Alpha King. The chosen beta for me was Stone, and Delta Robin became my advisor. "It's late at night. Why are you still here?" I asked former Luna Soledad when I saw her in front of her flower garden, which is her property. "Everything about this place reminds me of him," she said sadly. Of all those who mourned Alpha Devon's death, I know that Soledad was hurt the most. Soledad is a human, so I know she can overcome it, unlike us wolves. When we lose our mate, it's like our life has died too. This is why wolves like us don't want to be mated to humans, because they can easily change their feelings. They can still move on and live their lives as if nothing happened, while we wolves will never find someone else. Unless the wolf is strong-willed and can find someone else. Alpha Daemon, I was stunned when she called me that way. I'm still getting used to the new me. I was used to being called Prince and not Alpha. I turned to Soledad, who still had tears in her eyes. "I found out that you're investigating what happened." She lowered her eyes and continued, "I heard this the night after Devon's death. I heard that someone informed Devon that I was on that cliff and was asking for help, so Devon rushed to the cliff only to realize that he was framed up. Someone flew an arrow towards Devon, but Netitia was able to dodge the arrow, but they both fell on the cliff." I stiffened at what she said. "Where did you hear this?" I asked desperately. Why did she just tell me this now? "I heard this with the housekeepers around the palace, so I investigated it and found out that the woman who knew about it was missing and later found dead in the forest of Agama." I was silent when she said it. I clenched my teeth. The girl, who might have been a witness to what happened on that cliff, was mysteriously found dead in the forest. I know something is going on. And I won't stop until I catch that who killed Netitia and Alpha Devon. Alpha Daemon, the more days I stay in this place, the more I can feel the pain in my heart. That's why I'm asking for your permission to allow me to live in my world again," she said. I stared at her. She means the human world. She wants to go back to the human world again. I heaved a deep sigh and nodded. For the sake of my brother, I will let her do the only thing I can do for her. Chapter 63. I let Soledad into the human world where she came from before she met Alpha Devon. I know the loss of my brother is painful for her, and I can't blame her for asking now to leave the place filled with memories of Alpha Devon. Even I couldn't forget my brother. No matter what I do, nightmares and conscience continue to haunt me. Because Alpha Devon died, I didn't have the chance to talk to him properly. I regret that doubt led me then, so I didn't approach him immediately when I noticed his strange avoidance of me. I wish I had fixed the space between the two of us before he died. But it was too late. There was nothing I could do to repent because death had taken Alpha Devon forever and all I could do was correct what I thought were his mistakes. Surely, if he were alive today, he would ask for the same thing from me. That's why in recent times and years I have continued the investigation. But when the counselors and elders found out about it, they immediately told me to stop the investigation. Alpha Daemon, this is definitely your late brother's wish. He wants silence from everything. Many years have passed, and maybe there is a reason why the goddess of the moon promptly took him from us. Greg, one of the counselors, advised me. Can you hear yourself? This is the death of the former Alpha we're talking about, and you want me to stop the investigation? He's not just the former Alpha to me, Greg. He's my brother, and I won't stop until I find out the truth behind his death. I couldn't help but raise my voice because of the irritation I felt. I can't accept that the counselor himself will tell me that the investigation must be stopped. Among the people who should be supporting me in the investigation, they should be one of them because they are the officials here in the palace and former staff of my brother. But where does this investigation take you? Didn't you get anything? Every time you investigate, life becomes its replacement. I was stunned by what he said. My jaw tightened and my lips pursed. I cannot deny that what he says is true. Every time we have a lead that may be a witness or have something to do with Alpha Devon and Netitia's fall into the cliff, we always find it lifeless. This is also the reason why I also had a stronger feeling that it was not some random creature who planned my brother's murder. This is where I'm sure it's not an accident. I'm sure the murder of my brother was planned. I just don't know if Netitia is included in that heinous plan. I hope it'll open your mind to move on, Alpha Daemon. Let's put it all to rest and let's be at peace, Greg added more before he left my office. But no matter what the counselors said, I still continued. That's why I did it secretly, because I knew the elders would criticize it again when they found out. Only Delta Robin and Stone knew about my secret investigation, but nothing changed. I don't know why every time I get closer to the truth it suddenly disappears like a bubble. It was as if the enemy knew my movements. It was as if he had an eye on what I would do next. I don't know how he does that, and I can't do anything but be careful. A lot happened in the following years until one of the major problems I faced came. The punishment that should be imposed on Soledad, Alpha Daemon, is not just imprisonment. Death must be her punishment. How dare she replace Alpha Devon? It's not because Alpha Devon is now in the afterlife that she's going to replace him with another man. An elder ordered angrily while we were having a meeting because of the scandal committed by Soledad Madrigal. I felt so disappointed and betrayed. I felt betrayed for my brother. I never thought that the freedom I gave her would be a way for her to fall in love with another man. Soledad Madrigal married another man, and we only found out about it when someone told one of my men when I ordered him to check out to Soledad. But weeks after we found out about it, her husband died of sickness. Alpha Daemon, Soledad uttered my name as she cried hard in front of me. On either side of her were my soldiers who captured her to set her death penalty for the sin she committed. She's Alpha Devon's mate, and even though my brother died at a young age, she's not supposed to love another man because she will be forever my brother's lover. They are tied by the moon goddess. They are mated until death. Stop asking for my help, Soledad. I can't do anything even if you shed blood. You broke the rule and that's it, I said firmly. She teared up even more because of what I said. A lot has changed for her. She looked a few years older. Because that's human nature. They grow old and aged as time goes by. They can't live for a long time, and as they live, there will be a change of heart. This is why I hate humans. I hate creatures like them. They are weak and easy to give up. They think love is just a word, and they are not a man of words. But can you blame me? Tim was the one who was there when I felt so lonely. He saved me from the sorrow I felt for your brother. I was so scared to live alone, Daemon. You know, I have no family besides Alpha Devon, and I couldn't stand being alone, she cried so hard. So that's the name of her husband. I took a deep breath. This is why I pray so much that I am not mated with someone like Soledad. I don't want to be mated with a human. If you were the first to die between the two of you and my brother, Alpha Devon would never look for someone else, I said seriously. She was stunned by what I said. I saw the glint of guilt plastered on her face. A new set of tears rolled down from her eyes. If you died first, he will never find someone to fill the void of sorrow and loneliness. He will forever hope for you too and wait until he sees and meets you again, Soledad, I said again. That's when she lost her strength and just sat on the floor crying bitterly and regretfully. I am sorry, she sobbed. I averted my gaze because I knew that everything is too late. Everything happened in time, and time cannot be reversed. Then, perhaps, I deserve the punishment, Alpha Daemon, she cried regretfully. I heaved a deep breath and looked at her for the last time because tomorrow would be her execution. I hope for your peace and happiness till the afterlife, Soledad. I'll go ahead now. I told her one last thing before leaving her there. The next day came the time when Soledad would face his death. But when she went up to the stage to sit in the electric chair, I felt a strange throb in her stomach. I watched her frown until I heard the cry of a baby inside her body. I stood up in shock. Tell them to stop the execution, I said quickly to Stone. Excuse me, my king? Stone asked in confusion. Tell them to stop it. I can't stop myself but stand. Everyone looked at me. That's why Soledad also stopped sitting in the deadly chair. Stone quickly relayed my wishes to my men holding Soledad. What's the problem, Alpha King? We've already discussed this, haven't we? Greg asked. I glared at him because he's been an annoying counselor to me these past few months. He quickly shut up because of that. Soledad. I approached Soledad. All the elders and counselors were watching what I was doing. Soledad quickly knelt in front of me. Yes, Alpha, she asked in her tired voice. Why didn't you tell me? I asked grittily. Tell you what, Alpha Daemon, she asked. I clenched my teeth. You're pregnant, I said, and she came to a halt. I heard the elderly and counselors gasp because of what I'd said. I am sorry, she sounds guilty. I deserve to die with my child in my womb because I know how huge my sin is, but the child in your belly is innocent, Soledad. I snored at her. This is not part of the execution. If the woman is declared pregnant, she will be given a 9-month gap until her final execution. Her punishment will be after she gives birth. But, how did you know I was pregnant, Alpha Daemon? She asked tremblingly. I was stunned there. Actually, I don't know the answer. I just know it by hearing her child's heartbeat. We don't have the power to feel if someone is pregnant, Alpha Daemon, Stone said obviously. Later, I felt the presence of Delta Robin by my side. What if the child she's carrying is the moon goddess destined mate to you, my king? He said next to me. What? I asked in disbelief. That's not possible. Delta Robin sighed heavily. You are past the age where you are supposed to find your mate, but until now you still haven't found your mate. And since you are past that age, there is a high possibility that even though the baby has not yet come out of the womb, you already feel her because you are destined for each other, he explained. I was speechless. I couldn't believe it. What I hate the most is what is happening to me now. I am mated to a human, and worse is, it's the daughter of my brother's mate to the other man. Chapter 64. It was declared to lift Soledad's punishment. Instead of death, it was agreed that the punishment would be being a slave in the palace for the rest of her life. But Delta Robin appealed because Soledad used to be a queen in the palace, and she doesn't deserve to be a slave in the palace. That's why it was changed again and she was only given the punishment that she was not allowed to set foot in the palace again. It was also agreed that when she gives birth, she will live in the forest of the Agama kingdom for the rest of her life. One day, my grandfather Brandon visited the palace. I heard that you have now met your mate, Alpha Daemon. I welcomed him into my office. The housekeepers served us wine, so this is what we are holding now. I don't even want to think about it, I said. To this day, I still can't believe that Soledad's pregnancy could be what the goddess of the moon intended for me. What else I hate so much is what is happening now. It's like fate is playing with me. I'm not even done with my past problems, a new problem is opening up. Why? You hate humans? He asked and sipped his wine. I took a deep breath and stared hard at the cup I was holding now. The red wine in it resembles the blood I witnessed from the wars back in the past. All of us hate humans, Grandpa, I said. He chuckled. I don't, he refused. I turned to him. Why does he speak like he knows human beings so well? How can you say that? They are weak and maybe physically they are weak, Alpha Daemon, but, humans have a strong will of passion and courage, he said, cutting my words off. Have you met a human? I asked curiously. The way he talks about humans, it seems like he really knows them. I have no other interactions with other humans besides Soledad. I know that my brother once reached the human world, so I'm sure he has met many humans like Soledad. Soledad is nice. She's kind. I know she loved Alpha Devon, but she's weak. She was as easily overcome by pain and loneliness as I know humans. She easily forgot about Alpha Devon and fell in love with someone else. She's even now pregnant, and it looks like her child is destined for me. I held my breath. I'm going to reject my bond with Soledad's child once she gives birth to her. I'm not going to accept a human as my mate, I said, definitely sure of the decision. Grandpa raised an eyebrow at me, looking disbelieving. Do you know why only a handful of wolves can reject their mate even though we know we can do it? Grandpa smirked at me. Why? I asked because that's what I've been wondering all along. Why is it that even though it is possible to reject the mate bond, only a few are able to do it? It's because, the moment they meet their mate, they are always, immediately captivated, Grandpa said. His words lingered in my mind for months until Soledad's caretaker announced that Soledad would give birth soon. It was a rainy season, but the full moon was bright and clear in the night sky. It's rare to see the moon this clearly while it's raining hard. Is the baby out yet? I asked Stone as I stood on the front porch of my bedroom, watching the heavy rainfall and the full circle of the moon. Not yet, Alpha, he replied. I nodded and took a sip from the glass of wine I was holding. My plan was clear and bright in my head. I'm going to reject our bond as soon as she comes out of this world. I will no longer let myself be tied to a woman I hate. But none of my plans happened when Soledad ran away with her daughter. Are you all stupid? How can a human escape you all that easily? I almost cried out of anger as I faced the men I had ordered to guard the house of Soledad and the baby. I'm sorry. But they just vanished in Stone, I said coldly. Stone quickly came to my side. Yes, my Alpha, he asked. I gritted my teeth as anger consumed me. Kill them, I ordered. My office was filled with begging because of my decision. My other men dragged the men who were begging and crying to me, but I was too far gone mad to even hear their pleas. Because of what happened, my plan was not followed. I can't reject the bond if my eyes don't see that child. I also don't know why my men were so slow of moving to find Soledad as well as her daughter. I didn't think that Soledad could have escaped me just like that. Until I learned the truth 15 years later, Anna helped Soledad escape and hid their scent from me. So, I'm now sure why it took so long or how Soledad was able to hide from me for so long. You know I'll punish you for doing this, Anna, right? I couldn't help the coldness in my tone. Anna has been a great servant to my family. She is also close to Alpha Devon's heart, and maybe because Soledad is also the reason why she is here now, she chose to break my trust only to help Soledad. I know, I deserve the punishment, Alpha Daemon. I won't fight or go against in anything you want to do to me. But, I just want you to know that the time will come when you will thank me for what I did, she said. I frowned. She lowered her eyes. I heard your conversation with your grandfather Brandon. You're planning to reject your mate bond with Lady Soledad's daughter, but that would be a wrong decision, Alpha Daemon, because Lady Soledad's daughter is the moon goddess's destined mate for you, and what right do you have to say that my decision was wrong? I interrupted what she was saying at length. She quickly knelt in front of me. I know that, I have no right, Alpha Daemon. I am nothing more than a servant, a slave to your family and this palace, but I adore my home, and Alpha, your family is my home. I cannot let you ruin the home that Alpha Devon built for you. I was stunned by what she said. Home. I didn't think she would treat this palace like that. My office was filled with silence until Stone suddenly walked in and approached Anna. I frowned as he also prostrated in front of me. Stone, what are you, Alpha Daemon? Please, give me her punishment. I am ready to accept the sin she committed. Stone pleads that I don't understand why he's doing this. Stone. You don't have to do this. Anna said to him. I frowned. An idea came to my mind, so I turned on my strong sense of smell, and I was not mistaken. Stone's scent is all over Anna's wholeness. You didn't tell me you're both mated to each other, I said, stopping the two. Stone is a dear friend, and I care for the people he loves. That's why I let Anna go and didn't punish her. Instead, Stone will search for Soledad as well as her daughter. Until we finally found them. It was my first time strolling around the human world. I can see tall buildings all over the city, large and crowded. It was crowded, and the people seemed busy. But I wasn't there to watch humans. When Stone and I arrived at Soledad's home, I quickly inhaled the strange smell that made all my hair stand up. It was a different feeling. I've never felt this before. I also don't understand how fast my heart beats. My hands are cold and my wolf is rejoicing in the scent we are smelling. Can you feel her? Stone asked me. My jaw tightened. Yes, I breathed. He nodded. I will check the surroundings first. Stay here, Alpha, Stone said. I nodded at him and let him go. I was wearing a hoodie jacket and black pants. I feel like a stalker. Who are you? I froze in my place when I heard a soft voice from behind me. The scent I know. It's her. My wolf screams. Mate. I slowly faced her. I'm wearing a hoodie, so I'm sure she can't see my face much. I stopped and swallowed hard when I saw her face for the first time. If I will count her age, I know she's just in her teenage years, but she looks like a fine lady, a very beautiful lady. She tilted her head, trying to peek at my face, but she just stopped when she realized she couldn't see it. Are you lost or something? She asked. Her voice sent a shiver down my spine. Her sweet voice is like a lullaby in my sleep, her downtrodden eyes are screaming for gentleness, and her pouty little lips look soft and touchable. Her skin is as white as a dove. Why am I feeling this way? This is bad. I already planned this, didn't I? I'm going to reject her. But, can I? No, I said in a low voice. She nodded. I stared at her soft and reddish lips. Okay, I'll go ahead now, she said cheerfully and walked past me. I swallowed the dryness in my throat. Wait. I stopped her. She quickly turned to me. Is there anything you need? Her eyes glowed. What's your name? I asked. I saw her staring at me. I thought she wasn't going to answer me, but before she walked away, she replied, Solitaire. Chapter 65. Solitaire. I didn't know why Soledad named her Solitaire. Solitaire is not a bad name, but I don't like the meaning of it. Nevertheless, I need to focus on the things I need to do with Soledad and her daughter. I gritted my teeth as I watched Soledad beg in front of me. She was asking for forgiveness and more time with her daughter. I can't bear to be separated from my daughter, Alpha Daemon. I know what destiny she has and I will never hold her against you, so please, give me a few more years and I promised I will willingly give her to you when she turns 18, those were her words as she cried hard in front of me. I am not supposed to feel pity for her, but at that time I did. Maybe because every time I see her, my older brother's memories keep coming back to me. This is the woman my brother loved the most. My brother wouldn't like it if he saw her mate crying and begging for my mercy, so I let her go that day. What's her name again? I asked Soledad before Stone and I left her place. Athena. I frowned because her daughter said something different. So, her daughter lied to me? For what? Athena? I met her earlier. She told me her name was Solitaire, I said, confused. She avoided looking at me. I'm sorry. Athena has the habit of giving her second name instead of her real name when someone asks her, Soledad said. Then, her name is Athena Solitaire, hey? After that day, I couldn't stop myself from thinking about Athena. I know that I promised myself that I was going to reject our mate bond once I got a hold of her, but something inside me is wanting her. Her smell, her face, her warmth, and her touch. Something inside me wants all of her. My days and nights were filled with me dreaming of her. Because of that, I didn't sleep for several days, and I felt so miserable and frustrated. I can't help but get in a bad mood every day. Are you all useless? I told you to get there quickly, but you still found him dead. I couldn't stop shouting in front of the staff. I ordered them to find the new witness we found in the deaths of Alpha Devon and Netitia, but like the previous events, they found him lifeless. We're sorry, Alpha Daemon. Please have mercy on us. They knelt in front of me at the same time. I balled my fist and looked away. Stone, I called to the man next to me who had been silent for a while. Yes, Alpha, he replied quickly. Get them out. I don't want to see their faces, I said coldly. Stone nodded and said as the staff left my office. I sighed and took a sip of the wine that was in front of me now. I closed my eyes and leaned back in my chair. Solitaire, I quickly opened my eyes when I heard her voice again. I gritted my teeth and shook my head. What is happening to me? I just saw her once and I am already like this? I know that maybe it's just my mate bond's hormones for her, but, this is making me crazy. She was 17 when I visited her once again. I was with Stone the whole time as I watched Athena enter a bar with her friend. I don't like the way she dressed, I said grittily as I watched her sport an above-the-knee-length spaghetti strap dress. Her dress was hugging her body tightly, and I can say that even though she's just a 17-year-old girl, she already has a body that every man could desire. And I hate thinking about it. I just want to pull her away from that place and lock her in her house. It's a perfect dress for that kind of place, Stone told me. I turned to him. Does he know something about this place? You know this place? I asked because I don't know much about the human world, so I'm not particular about this kind of thing. It's a bar where men and women dance, drink, and woo girls, Stone said. I felt my head getting hotter with what he said. I don't know why he knows these things, and I don't care how he knows it, because my chest is filled with irritation. She's just 17 and she goes to this kind of place? For what? To drink, dance, and flirt with other men? Damn, girl. As I silently walked towards the bar, Stone didn't hesitate to follow me. I gritted my teeth when the bouncer blocked our way. What? I almost breathed fire because of the annoyance. Your ID, sir, the bouncer asked. I frowned. ID? I asked. Alpha, I think ID is all about your identification and we don't have it, Stone whispered behind me. My head almost blew from getting heated. I almost beat the bouncer because no matter how hard Stone tried, he wouldn't let us in. That's why I didn't do anything but leave and throw anything into my room. I don't know why I'm doing this. I never thought of wanting someone this much. I can't think of anyone else but her, even though I tried. Every time I think about Athena, my body immediately reacts and before I realize it, I am already having a boner. And then, finally, she finally turned 18. The day I waited for a long time. I don't know what my plan for her is, but I am definitely caging her into me. I won't let Athena escape from me. But her mother, Soledad, tried to run away again. A week has passed since Athena's birthday, and Soledad still hasn't given her to me. That's why I couldn't stand it anymore and come up with my own way to get the girl I've longed for. I kidnapped her that night. I don't care whether she likes it or not. That's when I felt my eagerness for her even more. But she was being difficult. She wanted to escape from me and she didn't want me in her life. She loathed me. She hates me so much that she'd choose to die rather than marry me and be my Luna. That's why I can't help but be angry with Athena. I started to doubt if I should allow myself to be tied to someone like her. But something inside me nudges me to be with her. Especially when I felt her lips and kisses on me. That's when I realized that no woman in this world would make me feel the same way I feel about her. Epilogue. I used to think that being an alpha king meant just sitting on your throne, taking care of your people, and thinking of ways that would help the kingdom flourish. But I was wrong. Being an alpha king means so much more than that. It also includes sacrifices and pain. I questioned my older brother's decisions back then, but I forgot that he's also just like us. He may be a great leader, strong and brave, but he also has feelings. Apart from being the alpha king of the kingdom, he is also a brother who loves his family. Being the alpha king has never been easy. When I became the alpha king, I finally understood Alpha Devon's feelings and hardships, especially when Athena came into my life. Having her is both a pain and happiness. Pain, because she became my weakness. She was my only weakness, not only physically but also emotionally. Everything about her is a source of weakness for me, her tears, her cries, her pains, her broken voice. I can't bear to see her hurt because I get hurt more every time I see her struggling. But no matter what I do, I still hurt her. Do you think it's a good idea? I asked Delta Robin as we looked out over the vast land of my constituency. Athena tried to run away. She was desperate to escape from me and I can't stop being mad at her, but I can't totally get mad at her. At some point, I could understand her. At some point, I knew the pain she felt. But after I saw her almost get eaten by the rogue, I felt a strange fear. I was afraid of losing sight of her. So, I know that even if she begs and kneels before me, I will never be able to let her go. But can I let her get hurt in my company? Is it about Luna Athena? Delta Robin asked. I didn't say anything because I knew he knew about it. I heard him sigh. Do you know why your brother almost chose to leave Soledad before? Delta Robin inquired. Why? I asked. Your brother thought it wouldn't look good on Soledad if he brought her to our world when Soledad is used to the world she grew up in. It's a risk that Alpha Devon needs to take. Alpha Devon doesn't want Soledad to regret going with him. Your brother was willing to break their mate bond and let Soledad live her life, but Soledad willingly chose him. Soledad fell in love and she chose to conquer the world where she doesn't know a thing, Delta Robin explained. What he said made me think deeply. In terms of decisions, Alpha Devon and I are very different. While he was ready to give Soledad a choice, I was the opposite of Athena. So now I'm thinking, is it a bad move? Am I really going to let Athena get away from me? That's why I decided to follow her wishes. I let her see her mother, and for the first time, I saw the light in her eyes. At that time, I felt her gradual opening to me. I can finally see her heart opening for me. I thought everything was going according to my plan. But I was wrong. When Athena is with me, I feel like I am slowly unfolding the secrets behind Alpha Devon's death, and I am slowly coming to peace with Athena's warmth. Because the problems we have to face are yet to come. While I was in the middle of investigating everything, Athena was slowly dripping away from me. I don't know why she suddenly changed. She could hardly look at me. Where is she? I asked Stone while I was inside my office. She's in the library, Alpha, Stone answered quickly. I sighed because we didn't see each other for most of the day. She was even cold to me when we ate our lunch. That's why when I knew she was coming to my office, I put aside what I was doing just to talk to her. Do we have a problem, Athena? I asked, trying to catch her eyes, but she couldn't even look back at me. What is wrong with her? None. I'm just not in the mood. I'll leave now, she said a bit coldly. I gritted my teeth when she tried to get away, so I immediately blocked her way. No. You'll not leave this room until you tell me our problem. And don't you ever deny that we don't have any problems going on, Athena. I'm not dumb. I know we have. You almost ignored me the whole day. I went to the library to talk to you, but Anna said you were busy. I let it pass. At lunch, I was talking to you and you just gave me a cold treatment. I am used to your snarling, not this, I chuckled without humor in the end. I'm not feeling well. Liar, I accused because it was obvious. She can't lie to me. I know everything about her. I can easily tell when she's lying or not. I've memorized every detail about her, so she can't lie to my face. But damn, she sounds mad and I don't know why. What is it that makes you upset, Athena? I asked her, almost pleading. Don't play with my feelings, Damon, she said and then stormed out of my office. That was a hellish night for me. I didn't know why she was mad. I don't remember doing anything bad. I promised myself that I wouldn't do anything that would hurt her because I didn't want to lose her to me, but look what's happening now. It's the opposite of what I wanted. Until I finally found the truth of her indifference. I am your Luna, but you have another woman in your heart. I don't know what to say to her. I know what she meant, but she's wrong. I've never loved anyone else other than her, but I know she thinks or everybody thinks that I've had feelings for Netitia before. But instead of telling her the truth, I ran away. Because telling her the truth means revisiting the past, and the past means Alpha Devon, my older brother who sacrificed his reputation, pride and ego to save the life of his younger brother. I wasn't ready yet. I still need more time. But I also can't let another day pass with Athena avoiding me. I'm afraid one day she'll decide she doesn't want me anymore. When I had the courage to tell her, I explained everything about the past without breaking down, and I managed to do that. Since then, my relationship with Athena has gotten even stronger. But when Jules Simpson, my known cousin, came back to the palace, everything changed. I know Jules is mad at me for being the reason why Alpha Devon turns his back on justice for our parents. Perhaps Jules is now plotting something to take me down and get the throne from me. As the investigation goes deeper, I have found out the biggest secret of what happened in the past. Stone's mate was violated while saving my parents, and she was one of those abandoned by Alpha Devon when he decided to save my life rather than get justice for what happened before. I was beyond mad when I found out the truth. I want to send Alpha Devon back and punch him at least once just to vent my rage on him because I felt so guilty for being the source of their anguish, which is also why Stone betrayed me. I truly trusted Stone, I treated him as my brother. He became my companion when I was alone. I tell him the problem whenever I'm confused. I treated him as my family. But, in the end, he chose to exact revenge on me for the sake of her beloved Anna. I can't blame him because it's his right to be angry and hate me, but I can't forgive him for hurting Athena, right in front of me. The doctors are now attending to her inside the room, but remembering her pale skin, her weak voice, her blood, and her sleepy eyes makes me feel fear I've never felt before. I feel a mixture of pain, bitterness, and anger. I felt pain because I couldn't bear to see him take his life, bitterness because I never thought this would happen, and anger at myself that I didn't even think about Athena's welfare when I decided to die at Stone's hands. It was all my fault. I didn't think about her feelings. I've decided recklessly. I didn't think that she would be hurt so much if I made a decision like that, but now, it's too late. I've already done it. Because of the anger I felt, I couldn't stop myself. Calm down, Alpha Daemon. I know Athena will survive it. Delta Robin tried to comfort me. I marched myself towards the prison cell, and there I saw Stone, staring coldly at the wall. I quickly grabbed his jaw and pulled him closer to me. If it hadn't been for the iron barrier, I would have hurt him even more with my rage. I will kill you if something happened to Athena, Stone. I raged. He lowered his head. I don't know what he's thinking, but I don't care anymore. I know he has a strong reason for being angry with me, but I can't let anything bad happen to Athena just because of him. It doesn't include in my plan to hurt Luna Athena. What Stone said astounded me. I heard Anna behind me crying. I just noticed that she was here too. But you did, I said emphatically. I will accept any punishment, Alpha Daemon, Stone said, and I can see how sure he is about what he said. I gritted my teeth. Do you know how hard that is, Stone? He lowered his gaze to the floor even more because of what I said. Because I never thought that a time would come that I would have to give you punishment, I said. I heard Anna's crying behind me even more. I swallowed hard. Now I know why in every one of my investigations people always die. My only way to find out the perpetrator of Alpha Devon's death is because someone is betraying me, and all of my men. I didn't think it was you, I swallowed hard. Because I trust you, I added. For the first time, I noticed the liquid dripping down Stone's chin. It's not noticeable because he doesn't even move, but I know the non-stop flow of his tears and I can't help but feel the stinging pain in my chest. I've never seen Stone cry and this is the first time I saw his tears. I felt bad because his tears mean sorrow and pain. I let him go. He threw himself on the floor of the prison. I took one look at him before I turned my back on him. I will let you live, Stone, but, promise me, I swallowed hard. That I will never see your face again, I said before I completely left there. Final chapter. Alpha Daemon. I stopped when Anna called me. She knelt in front of me, sobbing, Thank you for saving Stone's life. I don't want to receive gratitude for it, Anna, because I still can't forgive him for what he did, I explained. She nodded. I know, but I'm hoping for Athena's recovery soon, she said before I continued walking. I waited a few hours before the doctor came out. I hadn't even showered or gotten dressed when I saw the doctor come out of the room. He's a great doctor. He's a wolf who knows how to operate even a human body. Is she okay now? I quickly stood up and approached the doctor. For some reason, I feel better while waiting for the doctor to say, Luna Athena has lost so much blood, Alpha, so we need more of her blood, but for now, I've stopped her bleeding. For now, she's stable. But we should not be complacent, he said. Somehow, I feel better. I immediately ordered the staff to go to the human world to get Athena's blood type. I watched Athena's pale face as she slept on the bed. The machines are connecting to her body, and it's creepy how the machine beeps like it's her heart. I held her hand and the little warmth that came from her body quickly spread. I sat down beside her and stared at her beautiful face. I haven't slept for days because I'm waiting for her to wake up again. We also got her blood type and for now, we are just waiting for her to wake up. Athena, I called her name. My heart feels like breaking. I can't stand another day watching her sleep like this. I'm afraid. For the first time, I was afraid of Athena's condition. Because I feel like, she is slowly drifting away from me. Please, come back to me, my voice broke as I said. I kissed the back of her hand and felt the softness of her skin against my lips. I had so many realizations the moment I saw her soaking in her blood. It's a memory I can't get back. I just now understand what Alpha Devon was feeling then. I realized that you will do everything for the people you love, even if it means causing someone pain. You'll be desperate to do many things you didn't imagine you could do. It was scary to think that love could make you do impossible things, but, you can't do anything about it because it's your feelings. It is love. I didn't realize that as I stared at Athena's sleeping face for so long, a warm liquid was running down my cheek. Tears escaped my eyes as my heart ached for her. But I was shocked when it didn't reach my chin because a soft, tender, and warm hand touched my cheek to wipe it all away. Why you don't have to cry anymore, the voice that came from Athena stunned me. It was hoarse and weak, but I knew it wasn't my imagination. I am sure it's Athena's voice. Athena. I swallowed while waiting for her to speak again, although her eyes were still closed. My heart raced so fast when Athena slowly opened her eyes. I felt like the heavens opened up for me the moment I saw her beautiful and loving eyes. I've missed her eyes staring at me. Why you re-awake? I exclaimed, still unable to believe that he was awake. Her limp hand caressed my cheek. I am sorry, for causing you to worry, but I'm back now, and I will, never, leave again, she whispered, which made me lose myself and hug her tightly. I heard her chuckle because of my reaction, but I don't care anymore. I just wanted to feel her. I thought, I lost you. I'm sorry, I said, full of regret. I felt her soft hands caress my back. You will never lose me because I will always be chained to you, Alpha Daemon, she whispered weakly. I closed my eyes tightly due to mixed feelings. I can't contain the happiness I am feeling. I love you, these are the words I wanted to tell her since the moment I fell for her. She broke away from the hug, and even though she was weak, she forced herself to reach my jaw and bring her soft lips to mine. It was a quick kiss, but I could feel her overwhelming feelings for me. Why you don't know how much I love you, she whispered after the kiss. But I hugged her again before I heard Delta Robin enter the room and call a doctor to check on Athena's condition. But I know she will never get endangered again because I will forever take care of her. I will protect her even if it costs my life. I will forever treasure her and never let her escape me because she is forever chained to me. The end. Join our Facebook and WhatsApp group for more updates, link is given in description. Rest audiobook will be continued in next episode.